In the city of Samaria, a donkey's skull sold for a fortune, and a starving mother was driven to the unthinkable. The walls had held for months. The enemy waited outside, and inside the people were dying. Salvation would not come from a king or a soldier or a prophet's hand. It would come from 4 men no one would even touch. It's all written down, but almost no one tells it. This is the forgotten scroll. The army of Aram had surrounded Samaria. Nothing could go in, nothing could come out. Bread became priceless, silver bought only filth to eat. King Jehoram tore his royal robes and walked the walls in despair, and swore to kill the prophet Elisha before the day was done. But Elisha spoke a word that sounded like madness. "By this time tomorrow," he said, "flour and barley will sell for almost nothing at the city gate." The king's right-hand officer laughed. "Even if God opened the windows of heaven," he scoffed, "this could never be." Elisha answered, "You will see it with your own eyes, but you will not eat a single bite of it." At the city gate sat 4 men with leprosy, cast out, untouchable, forgotten by everyone. They looked at one another and asked the question that would change everything. "Why do we sit here until we die? If we go into the city, the famine will kill us. If we stay here, we die just the same. So let us go to the camp of the enemy. If they spare us, we live. And if they kill us, then we die." So as the sun went down, they rose and walked straight toward the army that could end them. But when they reached the edge of the camp, there was no one there. The tents stood open, the fires still burned, horses stood tied, plates were full. An entire army had vanished into the dusk. For God had made the Arameans hear a sound, the roar of chariots, the thunder of hooves, a vast army marching in the dark. Terror seized them. They cried that the king of Israel had hired great armies to crush them, and they ran, leaving everything behind, fleeing for their lives into the night. The 4 men could not believe it. They ate, they drank, they carried off silver and gold and hid it away. But then they stopped. "We are not doing right," they said. "This is a day of good news, and we are keeping it to ourselves. Come, we must tell the king." They ran back through the dark and cried up to the gatekeepers, "The enemy is gone, the camp is full, the city is saved." But the king feared a trap, a trick to lure his starving people into the open and slaughter them. So he sent riders into the night to see if it was true, and the scouts found the road littered with clothing and weapons, thrown down by an army running in panic. It was no trick, the deliverance was real. The people poured out of the gates and plundered the camp. And exactly as Elisha had spoken, by that very hour the next day, flour and barley sold for next to nothing in the gate of Samaria. The word came true, to the letter, and the officer who had laughed. The king placed him in charge of the gate. He watched the abundance flow in with his own eyes, but the desperate crowd surged, and he was trampled underfoot. He saw it, just as the prophet said, but he never tasted a single bite. The city was saved, not by the strong, not by the proud, but by 4 outcasts who refused to keep good news to themselves. One forgotten page, one true story. We'll unroll another next time.